The red warning lights flashed across every screen in Earth's Defense Command Center. Captain James Miller stood before the massive holographic display, his weathered face illuminated by the pulsing crimson glow. At age 55, he had spent more than half his life protecting Earth from threats beyond the stars. Multiple contacts detected crossing Neptune's orbit. "Sir," reported the young radar operator. Her voice remained steady, but her fingers gripped the edge of her console tightly. "Count is at 37 vessels, and climbing." Miller's jaw tightened. He remembered the last time alien ships entered their solar system uninvited. The memories of that terrible first contact flooded back. The burning cities, the millions dead, and humanity's desperate fight for survival. But things were different now. They were ready. "Send word to Admiral Reed," Miller ordered. "Then activate the Sentinel defense grid." He watched as dormant satellites throughout the solar system hummed to life, their sensors tracking the approaching fleet. 50 years ago, humanity had been helpless against alien technology. The visitors had arrived without warning, expecting an easy conquest of a primitive species. Instead, they found something that would become legendary throughout the galaxy: humanity's unbreakable will to survive. The defense center's massive doors slid open with a hiss. Director Anna West of the UN Security Council strode in, her formal uniform crisp despite the late hour. "Status report, Captain. 42 vessels now confirmed, Director. Larger than the first contact war fleet." Miller brought up detailed scans on the main screen. "But this time, we're not defenseless." Director West nodded grimly. "Are the quantum shields ready?" "Yes, ma'am. All major cities are protected. The underground bunkers can shelter 90% of Earth's population within 6 hours if needed." Miller allowed himself a small smile. "And our visitors don't know about our recent upgrades." Those upgrades had come at a tremendous cost. After the first contact war, humanity had united like never before. They had stripped every piece of alien technology they could find from the wreckage of enemy ships. Engineers and scientists worked tirelessly to understand and improve upon it. The quantum shields were just the beginning. "Look at their formation," West observed, pointing to the hologram. "They're not trying to hide their approach. Either they're very confident, or they want us to see them coming." Miller zoomed in on the lead vessels. Their design was unlike anything in Earth's database of known alien craft. New players, then, probably heard about the primitive humans and decided to try their luck. The radar operator's console chimed again. "Sir, they've crossed the Jupiter defense line. Sentinel stations are getting clear readings now." She paused, her eyes widening. "These ships, they're more advanced than anything we've encountered before. But not more advanced than what we've built," Miller stated with quiet confidence. He opened a channel to the Global Defense Network. "All stations, this is Captain Miller. Set Condition 1 throughout the system. Launch defense platforms and prepare for possible hostile contact." Across Earth, massive hangar doors opened in secret mountain bases. Sleek warships, built with hybrid human-alien technology, rose into the sky. Orbital defense platforms locked into combat positions. Deep under the oceans, submarine carriers prepared to launch squadrons of space-capable fighters. Director West watched the activity with pride. If they're hoping to find the same helpless planet they heard about in stories, they're in for quite a surprise. "Ma'am," called out the communications officer, "Admiral Reed is requesting your presence in the war room. The Security Council is gathering." "Very well." West turned to leave, then paused. "Captain Miller, do you think they know about what we did to the last 3 fleets that tried to conquer Earth?" Miller's expression hardened. "If they don't, they'll learn soon enough." He looked back at the approaching alien ships. "We're not the same species they heard about in their intelligence reports. We're not victims anymore." As if to emphasize his point, the massive defense laser arrays around the moon powered up, their energy readings off the scale. Humanity had learned the hard way that the galaxy was a dangerous place, but they had also learned to be dangerous in return. The alien fleet continued its approach, unaware that they were about to discover why Earth's reputation had grown so fearsome. They would learn what others had learned before them. Humanity was done being the galaxy's prey. They were the predators now. And they were ready. Admiral Thomas Reed stood in the war room, surrounded by holographic displays showing Earth's combined fleet moving into position. 10,000 ships, ranging from small interceptors to massive dreadnoughts, formed an intricate defensive web around the planet. Each vessel represented years of technological advancement and humanity's iron will to survive. "All fleets report ready, sir," his aide announced. "The quantum communication network is online." Reed nodded, his silver hair reflecting the blue glow of the displays. At 70 years old, he was one of the few high-ranking officers who had fought in the First Contact War. He had watched Earth burn once. Never again. "Begin recording," he commanded, straightening his uniform. The message he was about to send would either prevent a war or start one. Either way, humanity was prepared. To the approaching fleet, he began, his voice firm and clear. "This is Admiral Thomas Reed of the United Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space. Our sensors have tracked your approach since you crossed the Kuiper Belt. This is your first and final warning." He paused, letting the words sink in. Then he continued, 50 years ago, your kind found what you thought was an easy target. You were wrong then. You would be even more wrong now." With a gesture, Reed activated a series of video feeds. They showed recordings from humanity's previous victories, alien ships being torn apart by quantum weapons, entire invasion fleets reduced to debris by Earth's defense systems, and the powerful shields that now protected their cities. "What you see is only a fraction of our capabilities. We have survived and adapted. We have taken every piece of technology used against us and made it better, made it our own." The massive hologram in the center of the war room updated, showing the alien fleet's continued approach. They were passing Mars now, still maintaining their original course. "They're not slowing down," noted General Banks, one of the Security Council members present. Reed's expression hardened. "Let's make our point clearer then." He signaled to his communications officer, "Add the footage from the Battle of Saturn." The message now included images from just 2 years ago. Earth's forces absolutely destroying a hostile fleet that had tried to establish a base near Saturn. The quantum torpedoes, the phase shift fighters, the devastating power of humanity's newest weapons, all on full display. "We are transmitting this message on all known frequencies, in all known alien languages," Reed continued. "We have no desire for conflict, but make no mistake, if you continue your approach with hostile intent, you will not survive the encounter." He leaned forward slightly, his voice taking on an edge that had intimidated both human and alien leaders alike. "Earth is not a target. Earth is not a prize to be won. We are not the same species you've heard about in your reports. We have grown stronger with each attack, learned from each encounter, and built defenses beyond your imagination." The room fell silent as Reed delivered the final part of his message. "You have 2 Earth hours to respond and alter your course. If you proceed past Mars Defense Line Alpha, we will consider it an act of war. And unlike our ancestors 50 years ago, we don't fight to survive anymore. We fight to win." He ended the transmission and turned to face the assembled leaders. "Now we wait." The tension in the war room was thick enough to cut with a knife. On the main display, thousands of defense satellites tracked every movement of the alien vessels. Earth's fleet held position, weapon systems charged and ready. "Do you think they'll listen?" asked Director West, who had just arrived from the Defense Command Center. Reed watched as the data streams showed the message being received by the alien fleet. "They'll either listen or they'll learn the hard way." He turned to his tactical officer. "Status of the stealth platforms." "All in position, sir. They don't know about our forces hidden behind Mars and in the asteroid belt." A small smile crossed Reed's face. Gone were the days when humanity had to rely solely on courage and determination. Now they had the technology to match their resolve, and a few surprises waiting if these aliens chose the wrong path. The clock started counting down. 2 hours until they would have their answer. 2 hours until they would know if the galaxy would learn of humanity's progress through words or through action. Either way, the message was clear. Humanity was done being underestimated. Commander Mary Wilson stood at the control center of Orbital Defense Platform Alpha, watching the massive quantum shield generators power up. The curved energy barriers became visible for a moment, shimmering like aurora borealis, before fading into transparency. Below, the cities of Earth continued their normal activities, protected by humanity's most advanced technology. Shield strength at 100%, reported her technical officer. All 15 layers are active and synchronized. Wilson nodded, remembering the days when they had no defense against alien weapons. Now, their shields could withstand impacts that would have previously destroyed entire continents. Status of the civilian bunker systems. All green, Commander. Underground transport networks are ready to move people at a moment's notice. The deep shelters can support the population for up to 3 years if needed. The aliens were now inside Mars orbit, still moving forward despite Admiral Reed's warning. They had transmitted no response, maintaining complete radio silence. Their fleet had grown to 60 vessels, each larger than anything humanity had faced before. Wilson activated her command console, bringing up the AI defense network. "Begin running combat simulations," she ordered. "I want to know every possible way they might try to attack." The artificial intelligence system, built from both human ingenuity and captured alien technology, sprang to life. Holographic displays filled the air around her, showing thousands of potential battle scenarios playing out simultaneously. "Interesting," muttered Wilson, studying the projections. "They're using a formation we've never seen before." Her second-in-command, Lieutenant Parker, pointed to one of the displays. "Look at their energy readings. Those ships could be carrying enough firepower to crack a planet. Good thing we're not the same helpless planet they're expecting to find." Wilson opened a channel to the other defense platforms. "All stations, this is Commander Wilson. Begin charging the main gravity cannons. I want full power ready the moment we need it." Around Earth, 12 massive orbital platforms hummed with energy. Each housed a weapon that could tear apart the fabric of space itself, creating localized gravity wells that could crush even the strongest alien ships. It had taken 30 years to perfect the technology, but the wait had been worth it. "Commander," called out her sensor officer, "we're detecting energy spikes from the alien fleet. They're powering up something big." Wilson's expression remained calm. She had trained for this moment her entire career. Launch the drone swarms. Let's see what they're up to. Thousands of tiny, autonomous drones shot out from hidden bays around Earth's orbit. Each was barely larger than a human hand, but together they formed an invisible net of sensors and potential weapons. Another innovation born from decades of preparing for this very moment. "Civilian defense status?" Wilson asked, keeping her voice steady. "All major cities have activated their ground shields. Military bases are at full alert. The underwater carriers are in position." Lieutenant Parker paused, checking another reading. "The lunar base reports their mass drivers are charged and tracking targets." Wilson allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had learned to hide its teeth, but they had plenty of them. The lunar base alone housed weapons that could launch projectiles at near light speed, capable of punching through any known alien armor. "Message from Admiral Reed, Commander," announced the communications officer. "The Security Council has given the go-ahead for Protocol Omega." A murmur ran through the command center. Protocol Omega was their newest defense system, something even most military personnel didn't know about. Wilson entered her authorization code, watching as hidden satellites throughout the solar system began to power up. "Remember, everyone," she addressed her crew, 50 years ago, we were fighting for survival. Today, we're fighting to show the galaxy that humanity is not to be trifled with." The alien fleet continued its advance, now close enough that their ships were visible to the naked eye from Earth's surface. Massive, dark shapes moving against the stars. They still hadn't responded to humanity's warning, perhaps believing their superior size and numbers would be enough. Wilson checked the countdown clock. 30 minutes until they crossed the final defense line. 30 minutes until they learned what humanity had become. All weapons, stand by, she ordered. Let's show them why Earth is now called the deadliest garden in the galaxy. The war room fell silent as the alien transmission began. Their message appeared first as a series of complex light patterns before the Earth's advanced computers translated it into human language. Admiral Reed stood motionless, watching the holographic display as an alien figure materialized. The being was tall and elegant, with features that seemed almost carved from crystal. When it spoke, its voice was deep and resonant, carrying an air of ancient authority. People of Earth, the alien began, we are the Arbiters. We have watched your species since the day of first contact, and you have exceeded all expectations. Commander Wilson, who had joined the war room staff via quantum link from her orbital platform, exchanged glances with Captain Miller. They had heard similar words before, usually right before an attack. Your warning message was impressive, the Arbiter continued, but unnecessary. We are not here to conquer. We are here to test. Admiral Reed's eyes narrowed. Testing us? Like the others tested us by burning our cities. The crystalline being's expression shifted in what might have been appreciation. No, we are the ones who sent those others. Each attack, each invasion attempt, was carefully orchestrated. We needed to see how you would respond, how you would adapt. The revelation hit the room like a physical blow. Director West stepped forward, her voice tight with controlled anger. You're saying you deliberately caused the deaths of millions for a test. To prepare you, the Arbiter corrected. Humanity needed to be ready. Your species has potential, but potential without trial is meaningless. Miller's hand tightened on his console until his knuckles turned white. Ready for what? The alien's image flickered as it gestured, showing a map of the galaxy. Vast sections were highlighted in red, spreading like a disease across the stars. There is a storm coming. A force that consumes civilizations. We have spent millennia preparing species that might have the strength to face it. And the first contact war. The millions dead. Reed's voice was cold. That was just part of your preparation. Yes, the Arbiter showed no remorse. And look what it accomplished. In 50 years, you have advanced more than most species do in 5 centuries. You took our weapons and improved them. You faced extinction and emerged stronger. Wilson watched as the alien ships began powering down their weapons, but she didn't give the order to do the same. Humanity had learned the hard way not to trust easily. We are not here to fight, the Arbiter said. We are here to offer you a place among the guardian species of the galaxy. Your world would become a fortress, a bulwark against the coming darkness. Reed shared a look with Director West before responding. And if we refuse, then we will leave. You have proven you can defend your world. But alone you will fall when the storm reaches your shores. Together, we might stand a chance. The war room erupted in hurried discussions. The alien fleet remained in position, their weapons cold, seemingly content to wait for humanity's response. Sir, Wilson's voice cut through the chaos. The AI analysis shows they're telling the truth about their weapons being powered down. But I'm detecting massive energy readings of a different kind. Whatever these ships are, they're not just warships. Reed nodded slowly. You said you've been watching us, testing us. Prove it. The Arbiter's image was replaced by footage of Earth's recent battles, but from angles impossible for human cameras to have captured. They had indeed been watching, measuring, evaluating. Your species carries something rare. The Arbiter's voice continued. The ability to face defeat, to suffer devastating losses, and to emerge not broken, but evolved. We did not choose Earth by chance. Miller stepped forward. You keep talking about a storm coming. What exactly are we facing? The alien's response was interrupted by urgent alerts from Earth's outer system sensors. Something massive was approaching from beyond Pluto's orbit, something that made the Arbiter's fleet look tiny in comparison. That, said the crystalline being, is just the beginning. The massive shape approaching from beyond Pluto suddenly vanished from all sensors. Admiral Reed was about to demand answers when the Arbiter's image flickered back to life in the war room. Now, the crystalline being announced, we begin the final test. Without warning, the alien fleet launched what appeared to be an all-out attack on Earth. Thousands of energy projectiles streaked toward the planet, their power readings off the charts. All stations, battle positions. Reed shouted, but Commander Wilson was already moving. Quantum shields at full power. Wilson ordered from her orbital platform. Gravity cannons locked on target. The alien weapons struck Earth's defensive screens and passed right through them. But instead of destruction, they created perfect holographic simulations of devastating explosions across the planet's surface. Captain Miller was the first to understand. It's not real, he said, studying the readings. They're testing our response systems. But humanity wasn't waiting to be tested. Within seconds of the first simulated attack, Earth's defense grid sprang into action. The drone swarms identified the projection devices hidden within the alien projectiles and systematically destroyed them. Impressive, the Arbiter commented. Most species focus on defending against the apparent threat. You immediately saw out the true source. Wilson wasn't listening to the praise. She had already launched a counter-offensive that surprised even the Arbiters. Her platform's gravity weapons didn't target the alien ships directly. Instead, they created a complex web of localized gravity fields that would have trapped the entire fleet if this had been a real battle. Tactical analysis complete. Earth's defense AI announced. Simulation projectors neutralized. Countermeasures deployed. Time from initial attack to complete response. 8.2 seconds. Reed allowed himself a grim smile. Is this the kind of response you were looking for? The Arbiter's crystalline features shifted in what might have been surprise. You exceeded expectations. Again. But the test is not over. New signals appeared on the sensors, showing massive energy buildups within the alien fleet. Their ships began to move in complex patterns, creating what looked like a giant web in space. Let's show them what we've really been working on, Reed said quietly. Commander Wilson, initiate Protocol Phoenix. Wilson's fingers flew across her console. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations activated. Quantum fields flickered into existence, creating a mirror maze of false signals and phantom fleets. What had appeared to be a single defensive line around Earth suddenly became an intricate, multi-layered defense system. By the ancient stars, the Arbiter breathed. You've mastered quantum field manipulation at this scale already. We had good teachers, Miller replied coldly. Every alien ship we destroyed gave us new insights. Every attack made us stronger. The Arbiter's test reached its peak as their fleet executed a complex maneuver that should have broken through any normal defense system. Instead, they found themselves caught in humanity's quantum web, their every move predicted and countered before they made it. Enough, the Arbiter declared. The simulated attack ceased, and their ships returned to neutral positions. We knew you had advanced quickly, but this is unprecedented. Director West stepped forward. You gave us no choice. Humanity adapted because we had to survive. Every time you sent someone to test us, we grew stronger. The alien fleet began powering down completely, their weapon systems going dark one by one. The Arbiter's image showed what might have been respect. The storm that approaches, it said solemnly, has destroyed thousands of worlds. We have spent millennia preparing for it, searching for species with the potential to fight back. But none have shown the level of advancement you achieved in mere decades. Reed's expression remained stern. And now, what comes after the test? The answer came not from the Arbiter, but from Earth's long-range sensors. The massive shape beyond Pluto had reappeared, and this time it was no simulation. "Now," the Arbiter said, "you face the real threat. And this time, you won't face it alone." The massive shape approaching from the outer solar system resolved itself on Earth's sensors. It wasn't a single object, but millions of smaller ones moving together like a swarm of angry insects. "What are we looking at?" Admiral Reed demanded. The Arbiter's crystalline form seemed to dim slightly. "We call them the Void. They are not alive as you understand it, nor are they machines. They are hunger given form." Commander Wilson's sensors were providing more details now. The swarm was larger than Earth's entire fleet and the Arbiter's ships combined. Each individual unit was about the size of a small car, but they moved with perfect coordination. "Show them," the Arbiter commanded, and a new hologram appeared in the war room. The image showed a beautiful alien world covered in gleaming cities. Then the swarm arrived. Within hours, the entire planet was stripped bare, its resources and energy consumed. Nothing remained but a cold, dead rock. "This has happened to over 10,000 worlds," the Arbiter continued. "The Void cannot be reasoned with. They cannot be stopped by conventional weapons. They adapt to every strategy used against them." Captain Miller studied the tactical display. "How long until they reach Earth?" "At their current speed, 3 days." The Arbiter paused. "But you won't face them alone. That's why we're here. That's why we tested you." Director West's eyes narrowed. "You said we advanced faster than any species you've seen. How? Really?" The Arbiter's form shifted, showing what might have been pride. "Because of what makes humans unique. Other species, when faced with superior technology, try to copy it exactly. Humans, you take it apart, understand it, and make it better." Reed nodded slowly. "The quantum shields. We didn't just copy your design. We improved it." "Exactly. In 50 years, you've done what took other species centuries. Your quantum field manipulation, your gravity weapons, your AI systems, all based on technology you captured, but all made uniquely human." The massive swarm was now visible to Earth's deep space telescopes. It moved like a living shadow, consuming every asteroid and space debris in its path. "We have monitored every battle you fought," the Arbiter continued. "Each time we sent a fleet to test you, you grew stronger. Each defeat made you more determined. You turned your entire solar system into a fortress, but more importantly, you never stopped innovating." Wilson's voice cut in from the orbital platform. "Sir, I'm detecting something strange. The swarm, it's affecting space itself, creating some kind of distortion." The Arbiter's image flickered urgently. "They're evolving faster than we predicted. Your quantum technology. It might be our only chance. No other species has developed it to this level." "Why didn't you just ask for our help?" Miller demanded. "Why the tests? The attacks? Would you have believed us? Would you have developed your defenses with the same urgency if you hadn't faced real threats?" The Arbiter's form pulsed with energy. "We needed you ready. The galaxy needed you ready." Reed turned to Director West. "Get the Security Council online. Full emergency session." He faced the Arbiter. "You said we won't face them alone. What exactly are you offering?" "An alliance. Not as subordinates, but as equals. Your quantum technology combined with our experience fighting the Void. Together, we might have a chance." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had spent 50 years preparing to defend Earth from alien threats. Now they were being asked to help defend the galaxy itself. "There's more," the Arbiter added quietly. We believe humans might be the key to destroying the Void completely. Your ability to adapt, to improve upon existing technology. It's unique in all our centuries of searching." The swarm grew larger on the viewing screens, a dark mass promising death and destruction. But this time, Earth wasn't facing the threat alone. And this time, Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were fighting for the entire galaxy. 3 months after the Arbiter's revelation, Earth had become the center of the galaxy's greatest military alliance. Admiral Reed stood on the observation deck of Orbital Platform Alpha, watching as ships from 100 different alien species moved in perfect formation with Earth's fleet. "The latest quantum shield upgrades are complete," Commander Wilson reported, joining him at the window. "We've taught our allies how to implement the technology. 20 core worlds are now protected." Reed nodded, his eyes fixed on the massive construction projects happening in Earth's orbit. Huge stations were being built, combining human quantum technology with advanced alien engineering. "Who would have thought?" he mused. 50 years of fighting aliens, only to end up leading them. The Void Swarm had been stopped at Jupiter's orbit. The combined power of Earth's gravity weapons and the Arbiter's ancient technology had forced them to retreat, but everyone knew they would return stronger. "Report from the science team, sir," Captain Miller called from his station. "The void fragments we captured are showing unusual reactions to our quantum fields. Dr. Roberts thinks we might have found their weakness." This was why Earth had become so crucial to the Alliance. While other species saw the quantum realm as a tool for shields and weapons, humanity had delved deeper, understanding its fundamental nature. They had discovered that the void wasn't just consuming matter and energy, it was consuming space itself. The Arbiter materialized beside them, its crystalline form now a familiar sight in Earth's command centers. The other council members are ready for the briefing. The newly formed Galactic Defense Council counted 4 humans among its 12 members. Earth's expertise in warfare and innovation had quickly proven invaluable. "Show them the new data," Reed ordered. The holographic display activated, showing the results of their latest experiments. The captured void fragments weren't just affected by quantum fields, they were completely disrupted by them. Human scientists had discovered that the void's ability to consume everything in its path relied on a specific quantum frequency. "We can't just defend anymore," Wilson explained to the assembled alien leaders. "We need to take the fight to them. And now we know how." The plan was ambitious. Earth's engineers had designed a new weapon, one that would turn the void's own nature against it. They called it the Quantum Cascade. "The first ships equipped with the new weapon will be ready in 2 weeks," Miller reported. "The alien crews are already training with our combat simulators." Reed remembered how just 3 months ago they had been ready to fight the Arbiter's fleet. Now, human instructors were teaching alien warriors how to use Earth-designed technology. "The Void is approaching the Centauri system," the Arbiter announced. "Our combined fleets will meet them there." "They won't expect us to strike first," Wilson added with a grim smile. "They're used to civilizations trying to run and hide." The observation deck fell silent as a new ship class moved into view, the first of Earth's star breakers. These massive vessels, built with resources from 100 worlds, carried weapons that could tear holes in space itself. 3 more void swarms have been detected approaching from different vectors, Miller reported. "They're learning, adapting their strategy." "So will we," Reed replied firmly. "That's what humanity does best." The Arbiter's form pulsed with what had become recognizable as approval. "When we first discovered Earth, we hoped to find allies. Instead, we found leaders." Reed turned to face the assembled human and alien officers. 50 years ago, we were fighting for our survival. Today, we're fighting for every living being in the galaxy. And we will win." The quantum sensors lit up as more alien fleets arrived through FTL, joining the massive armada assembling around Earth. Each ship carried a piece of human technology, a fragment of the innovation that had turned a primitive species into the galaxy's best hope for survival. "Send word to all fleets," Reed commanded. "Operation Starfire begins in 48 hours. As the orders went out, Reed watched Earth rotating below. They had spent 50 years warning aliens not to underestimate humanity. Now, it was time to show the Void the same lesson. The galaxy was under humanity's protection now, and humanity was ready for war.